Hi guys, so today we're gonna be playing Metal Gear Solid 3. I would say my favorite game, the game I know most about, so I've been wanting to do this playthrough for quite a while now, but I don't know, I just never found the time, so I guess we can just jump into it. Let's go. I can just go with normal because there's another difficulty here when you finish the game. At least that's how it was on PS2. It said European Elite or something like that, but I'm just gonna be playing it so I can see the story again, so I'm just gonna go with normal. The resolution might be a little bit stretched. That's just because if it wasn't, there would be black bars by the side, so I don't know. I just don't want it to look like that on the video, so let's start.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Yeah, Snake's the rapper. Okay. So, we'll be spawning in a plane. And we'll go to retrieve our mentor. But things will turn a lot different, so yeah.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Of course.
Still showing a high pressure mask. Cab okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Of course we do. We need it if we want it to drop down.
Put out that cigar.
Never.
Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
I don't feel like it yet.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Oof. The insults.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Bit of slow motion.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Let's go.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
Nah.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate VLR model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by.
Let's go.
Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings and
and fly. God be with you.
And let's go. We'll be jumping out of an airplane. I think 1 or 2 times. definitely one more after this. Oh, let's go. Directed by Hideo Kojima.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the Virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
Like
name is
a lot
Nikolai
of people did
Stepanovich
during the Cold War.
He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961,
We're gonna try and
Soviets
retrieve
achieved the
this
first
guy.
manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become
Why
afraid of his
indeed?
own creations.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. He used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the
Even
Berlin
if
Wall
this is
shortly
like
afterwards.
a
I was the
fictional
one
game,
who conducted the
there's still a
operation.
lot of like
The
semi-true
security
facts
on the eastern
about
side was
the
still
Cold
closed
War.
back then.
That's
Then
why I
what?
like the
We got
Cold War
Sokolov
era a
over
lot.
in one piece, but the whole
Did a
ordeal
lot of
had left him
research
exhausted.
after playing the
We
games
checked him
also.
into a hospital in West Berlin.
There's a lot of
2 weeks and more than
wheels
600
that were
miles to
turning
get
during
from
the
the
war
research facility in the Soviet
that
Union to
most
Berlin.
people probably
So
don't
no
know,
condition to say
or at
anything
least that
coherent.
they don't teach in schools.
And it was only a week later that we had
Especially in
something
US
much
schools.
bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles.
These
to
first
Cuba.
few like playthroughs,
President demanded
first few
that the
episodes
Soviets
will be
dismantle
just
and
like
remove missiles.
to
At the
catch
same
up
time,
on the
he announced
story
a naval blockade
up
to
until
prevent
this
further
point.
missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return
just like
Sokolov.
for a bonus fact,
You mean
I think the
Soviets pulled
first
out of Cuba just to get their hands on
treaty
Sokolov?
made during the Cold
That's
War
right.
was that
What the hell
no
was he working
nuclear
on?
missiles would be
At the
held
time, we
on
had
the
no
Arctic,
idea.
since it
We were
is
running out of time.
technically the property of
It's either give up
mankind,
Sokolov
but
or risk
if you
full-scale
look at the
nuclear
map
war.
you'll see that
In the end, we had no choice.
everybody owns a little
President
bit of
Kennedy
it.
gave in to Khrushchev's
So,
demand.
They made a pact that
next day, I
no
got Sokolov
nuclear
out of the
missiles
hospital,
will be held there,
handing him over to agents on the eastern
which
side.
Russia,
Sokolov kept on
like,
screaming, "Save me,"
I don't
until
know,
he
found a
disappeared
way
from
around
us.
that, sort of.
Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes, He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
Oh my
So
god.
what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
Not really.
No, missiles.
Missiles.
Same technology.
More or less.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent
It's a
nuclear
Metal
tests
Gear!
in Palatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino Yask, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility.
Them
This
graphics
is our
though.
last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Might not look like much, but it was really advanced for the time. Especially like these cutscenes. Just like the Metal Gear 1 cutscenes were really advanced for the time. Really tested out the ability of the PS1 back then and the PS2 now. But it doesn't matter anymore.
Listen up, Jack.
Emulators
Your
for
mission
the
is
win.
to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west.
At least that's the original plan.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis.
Indeed.
The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be
So
dropped
good.
at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Yeah, also in real life.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock
Seems
will
like
be less than during a parachute
useless
jump,
thing,
and the
but
arm can handle
I
up to
don't
500 pounds.
This process was even more developed in the later games, like in Peace
It's
Walker
equipped with two
and
6-barrel 20mm Falcon
Metal
cannons,
Gear
as well as
Solid
two
5.
40mm machine guns.
Spalton extra
Sounds like she could
systems,
hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
like to
Even with the
recruit
fuel in the reserve
enemies
tank,
and
we're
stuff
facing
like
a
that,
4-hour time limit. If
or
all
like,
goes well, it
you know,
shouldn't take more than
to
a few
kidnap
hours.
ship.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Hahaha. He likes snakes anyway. Shouldn't be that bad for him. You might think that there are a lot of cutscenes in this game, but nothing compared to like Metal Gear Solid 4. I think there's around 40 hours of cutscenes in that game. There's like a 1 hour and a half cutscene at the end. Might take me a few seconds probably to learn the controls again. They're not hard once you get to know them, but if you're playing a lot of games with a controller, you know, memory gets mixed up. Snake. Later on known as something else, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen
The
by
code
the
name
enemy.
changed
You
from
must
Major
leave no
Zero
trace
to
of your
Major
presence.
Tom.
Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
And you can't climb at all.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it. You know where it is?
Of course.
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action.
Uh-huh.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship.
To people now, it
My
might
frequency
seem
is
that
140.85.
stuff like that,
I'll
the
give you
little
a call
tips
if I need
were
to talk.
needed, but
If you need to talk
kids
to
back
me,
then were
use the
dumb as
send
fuck,
function.
so
Okay, Snake.
every
Go get
little
your
bit
backpack.
helped. Okay. This radio also is a big part of the game, so you can call Major Zero on this, and any other people that will give you your their frequency. Also, you can tune it to find different stations. There was back then when I first played this game, me and my dad like played 5 times before we realized that we needed to press select and go to this, and there's a person right here that you can save with, but we didn't know that, so our theory was that you just don't need to turn off the PlayStation. So we did the initial start for a few times before we realized what was going on. So in this game you have a stamina bar right on the top left. I can show it with my this. So you regain that. You lose that by moving around, shooting, holding your breath, stuff like that, and you recharge it by eating food. If your stamina bar is high enough, your health will also regen. So we do that. Okay. Triangle to jump. R2 is for picking. Here is probably food and weapons. Here are gadgets. Revival pill is used a little bit further in the game. So to recharge the stamina bar, you just kill stuff. Also, just like real life, the food will go rotten if you leave it for like a week or something like that. So you need to drop all your food and regain it back, because it'll be useless. If not really useless, you'll get some disease and you'll need to take antidotes for it, so it's good to stack up on food early on. I don't think there are any more snakes over here, so we can just go to the next area. There's an item here. And let's go up the tree. concealed,
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
of course.
To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose weapon from the backpack.
Yeah, later on I'll have
Available weapons
RPGs
will
and
be
everything
displayed
like
in the
that,
window
and
in the
all of
upper
that
left.
weaponry
From
will
that
be
list,
held
choose
in a
the
little
weapon you want
bag.
to equip and press the
It's
enter
big
button.
enough for a wallet.
For other equipped items, just do the same thing from item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right.
Hmm.
Survival is fundamental to this mission.
Really?
After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't
The
run
thing
out.
I said before.
To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna.
Fauna.
You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
It's a really good gun.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches zero, the noise
But if you use
suppressive
it
effect will be gone.
sparingly, you find
So
enough
don't get too
suppressors
afraid The suppressor's
if you
durability
play
is
the
shown
game
in the
right
icon.
and look a little
Any
bit.
weapons
So
and equipment beyond what you're carrying now,
the
you'll have to
suppressor
find as you go.
running out
I have
isn't
to
that
find
big of
my
a
own
deal.
weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too.
Of course.
Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake.
Even if
Every
they
sense of the
find
word.
you, it's not a big deal.
There'll be no
There's a lot of
rescue
guys
if
that
you're
will
captured.
come, so
The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
this is also used a little
Use
bit
it
on
if you're
in the
taken
game.
prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct.
Oh, really?
Mission rests entirely in your
And I
hands.
wondered what a solo
Real
mission was.
one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition. Acting
Paramedic.
as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever
You
you
see
want
this
to
part?
save,
Me and
send
Dad
a
missed.
message over the reserved save
Like
frequency.
10 times.
140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake. Speaking of snakes,
Oh.
you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Bosses?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
The boss.
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
best character
Talk
in
to me.
video game
Let me
history.
hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing
The
as
thing
an
she's
enemy
saying
in
right now
absolute terms.
really
The enemies
stuck
we
with me,
fight are only
even
enemies in relative
when I was
terms,
little.
constantly changing
Still
with the
remember what
times.
she's saying right now,
As
like
long
10
as we
years
have
later.
loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have
By
with
the
me.
end of the game, we'll see that
And one more thing,
even
boss.
though whatever
Yes. It's
everyone
good to hear your
says
voice
in
again.
the game,
Same here.
at the end
After
you'll
all,
see
who knows
that
if either of us
the
will make
boss
it out
is the
alive?
most
Snake, you
patriotic
are always best at
person
urban
in this
warfare
game.
and
Did
infiltrating
everything.
buildings. But this is the jungle.
Cost her a
Survival
lot,
is going
so
to be key. Those
kinda sad.
CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh?
of course.
I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is
You
your
sure
first
will.
actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
Sure.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Really?
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Hands up!
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Okay, so now we got the intro out of the way. I think this is the perfect time to stop this part for now, and I'll be back with the next one in like a day, maybe? I don't know.
Saving the game, Snake?
Yes, I would like to save the game. Yes. Yes. There we go.
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla? King of
Yeah,
Monsters?
she also says a few things
It's a
about
movie.
movies every
You haven't
time you
seen
say.
it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my
Or
pants
so
have
they
been
say.
tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
I know. So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version, too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America, too.
Why is that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course. Everybody loves Godzilla.
Everybody loves
Sure know a lot
Godzilla.
about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice
Paramedic
distraction.
and this
the
synopsis
spirit,
about
Snake.
movies
Have a little
also
fun.
come from Kojima's love of movies, so it's a welcome change from the game when you're playing. Also, I guess before I go, I can also say about the camouflage system in the game. So in the top right corner, you'll see a percentage. That's the percentage of how visible I am. So if I lie down, I'm an 80% hidden. So I don't think anyone will see me even if they walk right past me, unless they go into the tall grass. You can change that if you want. Later on, more comes in more handy because this standard outfit isn't good enough, like in the sandstorm or stuff like that. Fuck off. Camouflage, you can go with face. It also says here, like if I go out of this and hide, it's now at 80%. So I can go into camouflage, face, and I can go like woodland. It goes like up to 50%. You can go with the Sweden. It goes back to the mask. It's only used for later on. I use woodland most of the time because I don't know. So I can go back, uniform, also go with leaf, and you're up to 90. Also, yeah, you can go with a backpack as they said, so you need to click it to equip it, so rations aren't really used right now. You can just like, where is it? You can go to food, just eat it from here, no big deal. Also, here is equipment. You can take that out because it's not useful now. This can go, okay, this can go. Binoculars, motion detector, this thing, and this, I think this thing will be useful later on at one boss fight. Not just this one, but there's also ultraviolet, I think. I don't know. Things come in useful during the during the boss battles. Also, if you run out of battery on this ones, when you turn them off and on, they make a sound, and if you use it next to an enemy, they can hear it. So it's like a small little designs in the game that really don't mean much in the general sense, but it's welcome to. It's a nice space. So in the next episode, we'll go through here and we'll finish this starting area thingy. So have fun and see you guys in the next episode.